The fox went out upon a windy night, prayed to the moon to give him light. He had many a long mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh, many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, he ran till he came to a great big bin where the ducks and the geese were kept there, and said, "A couple of you are going to grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh, couple of you going to grease my chin before I leave this town. Couple of you going to grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh." He grabbed the grey goose by the neck, throwed a duck up across his back. He did not mind the quack, 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 and the legs all dangling down. Oh, down, down, no, down, no. Did not mind the quack, 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 and the legs all dangling down. Did not mind the quack, quack, and the legs all dangling down. Oh. Mother took a flop and jumped out of bed. Out of the window she cocked her head. She said, "John, John, the grey goose is gone and the fox is on the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh, John, John, the grey goose is gone and the fox is on the town. John, John, the grey goose is gone and the fox is on the town. Oh." John, he went to the top of the hill, blowing his horn both loud and shrill. The fox said, "I better get away with my kill before they let out the hounds. Oh, hounds, oh, hounds, oh." Fox said, "I better get away with my kill before they let out the hounds." Fox said, "I better get away with my kill before they let out the hounds. Oh." The fox, he came to his own den. There were the little ones, 8, 9, 10. Said, "Daddy, Daddy, better go back again, 'cause it must be a mighty fine town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. Daddy, better go back again, 'cause it must be a mighty fine town. Daddy, better go back again, 'cause it must be a mighty fine town. Oh." The fox and his wife, without any strife, cut up the goose with a fork and a knife. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Oh, bones, oh, bones, oh. Never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Oh, never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Oh. Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me out discourteously, for I have loved thee so long, delighting in your company. Green sleeves was my delight, green sleeves was all my joy. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but me, Lady Green Sleeves? You could desire no earthly thing, and still you had it readily, your music air to play and sing, but yet you would not love me. Green sleeves was my delight, green sleeves was all my joy. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but me, Lady Green Sleeves? I gave thee a petticoat of the best, with cloth as fine might be. I bought thee jewels for thy chest, and all this cost I spent on thee. Green sleeves was my delight, green sleeves was all my joy. Green sleeves was my heart of gold, and who but me, Lady Greensleeves? I bought thee a kerchief for thy head, wrought so fine and gallantly. I kept thee at both board and bed, which cost my purse well favourably. Greensleeves was my delight, Greensleeves was all my joy. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but me, Lady Greensleeves? Farewell, adieu, and may it be that fortune never smiles on you. I pray that once before I die, thou wilt vouchsafe to love me. Greensleeves was my delight, Greensleeves was all my joy. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but me, Lady Greensleeves? Down yonder green valley where streamlets do wander, when twilight is fading I pensively roam. Or at the bright moontide in solitude wander, amid the cool shades of the lovely ash grove. 'Twas there while the blackbird was cheerfully singing I first met my dear one, the joy of my heart. Around us with gladness the bluebells were ringing, oh, little thought I just how soon we would part. Still beams the bright sunshine on valley or mountain, still warbles the blackbird its song from the tree. Still trembles the moonbeam on streamlets and fountain, but what could these beauties of nature to me? With sorrow, deep sorrow, my bosom is laden. All day I go mourning in search of my love. The echoes all ask me, where is my sweet maiden? She sleeps 'neath the green turf down by the ash grove. Do you happen to know of a maiden in need of a sweetheart? Here's one who is anxious to plead. It's a shame that a handsome young fellow like me should be left while the nightingale sings in the tree. It's a shame that a handsome young fellow like me should be left while the nightingale sings in the tree. In the wood beneath the bright moon, every lad with his lass makes the most of the June. The world's gone a-wooing, accepting of me, and the nightingale sings to his mate in the tree. The world's gone a-wooing, accepting of me, and the nightingale sings to his mate in the tree. The time it is short, there is none I can spare, and the nightingale's song will soon die in the air. Don't you think, dearest Phyllis, you'd better agree to make love while the nightingale sings in the tree? Don't you think, dearest Phyllis, you'd better agree to make love while the nightingale sings in the tree? Oh, there was an old man, and he lived in the West, and his trade was the cutting of broom, green broom. He had but one son, and his name it was John, who lied in bed till 'twas noon, bright noon, and he lied in bed till 'twas noon. Well, the old man arose, and upstairs he did go, and he swore he'd set fire to his room, if John did not rise and unbutton his eyes, and away to the wood to cut broom, green broom, and away to the wood to cut broom. So John he did rise, and he sharpened his knives, and away to the wood to cut broom, green broom. He went here and there, and he'd cry everywhere, fair maids, do you want to buy broom, green broom? Oh, fair maids, do you want to buy broom? Well, a lady way up in her chamber so high heard Johnny a-crying, green broom, green broom. She went to her maid, and unto her she said, go fetch me the lad who cries broom, green broom. Oh, go fetch me the lad who cries broom. So John he arose, and upstairs he did go, and he entered the fair lady's room, her room. She said, come close, see, now do you fancy me? Would you marry a maid past her bloom, her bloom? Would you marry a maid past her bloom? He gave his consent, and unto the church went, and he married the maid past her bloom, her bloom. She said, I'll confess there is none in the West like the one who's a cutter of broom, green broom, like the one who used to cut broom. Back to the house then without more delay, the reception was held in their room, their room. There was food, there was drink, and he said with a wink, this is better than cutting a broom, green broom. Oh, much better than cutting a broom.